What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. It is the 18th of September. We are sitting at $315.59 as I speak right now. It is, what would the day be? It's Wednesday. It is the day of the FOMC meeting, right? Today, we're going to figure out what the interest rate DL is, man. What's the haps with that? Is it getting cut? Are we getting a hike? Is it going to stay the same? Is it a big cut? Is it a small cut? You know, I think we're all expecting it to be a cut. They've been pretty transparent about that, but we'll see how it goes. Expect today to be one of two things, either very volatile or absolutely boring. Absolutely nothing, right? I would think it's going to be volatile. I think that, you know, maybe as the meeting begins, we'll see some excitement, a little bit of a pump, and then as the news comes out or whatever, we might see a little bit of a dump, or vice versa. Maybe as the meeting starts, we dump, and then as the news comes out, we pump, whatever. I don't know if the news is going to be good or bad. My assumption is that the market might receive it as bad because we've sold into this event, which generally speaking, when you sell the news before the news actually happens, right? That tends to mean that the news is going to be received negatively across the markets. Generally, when this happens, you're already at your low, if not very near your low, right? Like you had a big move down like this already. You might sell off a little bit today and have this look like you're going way down here, but then that's where the low is. That's when you start moving up, right? And this negatively received news, as a day or three goes by, there's like a new light on it that isn't as big of a deal. I don't know. Like think about the Japan exchange shenanigans that we had with Nike or Nikkei or whatever it's called. You know, that was a big deal for like 48 hours, and then everybody moved past it. The world kept spinning, right? There's narratives that'll jump out right now. That's what I'm getting at. Is I think that today there will be some kind of something announced at the FOMC meeting that will be received as negative. Okay, I don't know how negative it'll be. I would assume it's not going to be dramatically impactful. If it was, well, then we'd probably see something crazy. But long story short, my expectations revolving around today specifically are that we might get some volatility. Okay, so anybody in a long trade or a short trade, be careful, right? I don't know if I would be in a long or a short right now personally. I'm not actually, but if I were to be in a long or a short, I'd probably wait. I would wait for, you know, during the meeting, seeing what price or what direction the price goes to. If it jumps down or jumps up, you know, to take a short or a long, you know, in respects to that. As in, if it moves up, go short. If it moves down, go long. Because likely, whatever direction it picks during the meeting, it will slingshot back to this area, if not through it, right? Like if you go up here, you might slingshot back the other direction. I'm expecting something like that to happen because that's pretty normal. That tends to happen. Of course, anything can happen, you know. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but on days like this, highly anticipated news-driven days, I don't think anybody should be any leverage positions or margin positions personally. For what that's worth, right? Not financial advice, but that should be financial advice. Anyways, guys, let's get into the TA. Let's stop BS and let's stop kicking the can down the road. Let's address what's going on and where the price is going to go, right? I got so tied up in that FOMC meeting stuff. I'm excited to see what goes on with it, right? But really, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I think we're going to get on with our lives, and that's really what I'm the most excited for this thing. So speaking of which, let's get on with ourselves and actually talk about this. So from a relative low here to a relative high, we have pulled back to our 618 area, technically not at the 618, but this is more bullish actually than it would have been if we went to the 618. It's always nice when you get that perfect tip right on the 618. It really is. But whenever you see this is actually a good thing. This tends to be a sign of front running. It could be a coincidence. It could be a self-fulfilling prophecy. It could just be a coincidence. Who knows? But the idea here is that the 618, the golden ratio, is a zone that many traders use in their day trading, in their investing, in their swing trading. Many traders who use trading algorithms, many market makers who use trading algorithms, right? There are things out there in the world that are revolvent around this 618 kind of golden retracement. I'm not the only person, you're not the only person who's aware of this target. Whenever there's people who are aware of this target, so many people, and they want to buy in this area, that can cast pressure, that can cast buying pressure, and maybe there's not enough selling down there compared to the buying. People buy ahead of time. People front run the price, and that tends to be the reason why it's interpreted as a good thing, right? This look right here, because it just essentially means there's so much buying pressure that you couldn't even hit your expected zone that everybody has their eyes on. And that's generally when it happens. It's like when everybody has their eyes on a specific zone, you either blast through it, or more likely than not, you would actually find support just above it or resistance just below it and stuff like that. So looking good. I would call this a 618 support. It's a nice bit of support. I don't like the rejection off the 382, so hopefully we can break past this and close a day or any 4-hour period above it. I think if we get multi 4-hour periods above it, it would work out fine. If we look at this on a 4-hour, right, it's the same thing right here. It's the exact same move. It's just on a 4-hour, right, just above the 618. It does look a little bit more gruesome to me, this rejection off the 382. With this look alone, normally I'd be super confident that you're going down to these areas, and you might go just below $300, just above 290. That could be where we go. And if that is, that's okay. Again, right, in anticipation of what's going to happen today, we could really wick down all that low and then come back up, right? Or maybe we start the meeting off bullish pump, and then the negative news comes out, and then we dump all the way down here, and then by the end of the day it comes back up and pumps, because really the dump has already happened. I don't think that we're going to go lower, too much lower. Anyways, hopefully we don't break below 292. If we do, we've got things to talk about. But we can go below there. It's okay if we pierce the veil. Hopefully we don't pierce the veil with this low. But as long as we're not closing anything below 292, I don't have a problem with it personally. We're at 315 now and dropping. If we go lower today, I would assume that it's going to be minuscule. When we go higher, I do believe it's going to be awesome and it's going to be fantastic, right? Any day now, any week now, any month now, we're going to see some upside and it's going to be phenomenal. I very much do believe that the targets that we have are going to be anywhere from at least like $1,100 to maybe $1,900, right? We could go higher, we could go lower. Of course, there's targets in both directions, but something specifically around this like 200 to 1618 area is what I'm thinking. Maybe the 1414 at a minimum, but each move up prior to this move that we're anticipating, right? This move that's in anticipation of a move up. By the way, I think these zones will be hit by the end of the year, if not the very beginning of next year. But the reason why I would not assume that we see this 1414 or lower is because these two moves right here, this high and this high, the moves that are prior to the move that we're expecting here, from its relative high to low, you went up right up to your 200 level there, and then same thing from this one, from its relative high, if I could get it right there, to its relative low, you also went up to your 200 level right here. So calling for prices to go up to your 1618, 1886, 200 level. I think that's totally sound and totally fine, especially whenever we consider the breakout of this consolidation phase. But that's just stuff to look forward to, right? That's stuff to focus on, I think, and get our mindset for. We are at the base of this range, so it seems like it's a long ways away, but man, any day now, any week now, we're going to see these upside moves again. I didn't mean to draw it all the way over here. I don't know what happened there, but it does seem like Bitcoin Cash likes to move fast, and it's not just this cycle, but when it moves up, it likes to move fast, right? It definitely does. It's volatile. It's definitely volatile, but when it is moving up, it does like to be fast. So hopefully sometime by the end of this year, we will be at prices between $1,300 to $1,900, and at the moment, I would expect today to be a pretty indecisive day. Maybe it's somewhat negative, maybe, but I really do think that whatever the negative news is, whatever the narrative is that comes out today, I'm sure it'll blow over, or as negatively anticipated as it might be, it's going to turn out to be nothing, right? So it'll just blow over. I'll probably have to make a video giving my opinion on whatever it is. I have no awareness as to what it is. I just have an awareness of the charts. It would be hilarious to me if at the FOMC meeting today there was nothing negative discussed, or at least something maybe in the grand scope of the economic world or the crypto markets, that there was nothing negatively discussed. I would literally be a little bit surprised by that, actually. But I'm calling it now. I think that there's going to be, I'm the most certain of that, right? My TA, right? I'm not so certain if we go up from here, if this is the low, or if we go lower. I'm not so certain, right? We could go lower. And if we go lower, 297, 292, perfect targets to go to, perfect range to go to. If we go lower, $303, $307, perfect range to go to. We don't have to go that low. We could go a little bit lower, but who knows? We also could find this as a low and move up from here. I'm really not solid one way or another, especially with this news-driven event today on the FOMC meeting. Right? I'm not convinced one way or another, right? But I am convinced, based off of the charts, that something negative will come out in the FOMC meeting. And it might not actually be negative, or maybe it actually is negative, but it's not. I don't think it will impact the markets. I think if we go lower, we'll go just a little bit lower. And I think the majority of the move down already is in the anticipation of this negative move, which will be, who cares? We're moving up anyways. It's time to go to the stars, right? So anyways, that's all I got for you guys. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content. If I generated any questions for anybody, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you like the video, feel free to leave a comment as well, right? That always helps push the content. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.